Hello friends, in this video we are going to create a custom pipe. Now before watching this video, I would like you to watch Angular 2 pipe video for better understanding. Now let's start with what are pipes. So pipes transform displayed values within a template. Every application works in a similar way, that is, get data, transform it and show it to the user. The data transformation is necessary to improve user experience. Angular pipe helps in transforming data before displaying it on UI, thus enhancing the user experience. Angular gave us the power to create our own custom pipe. That is what we are going to do in this video. Now before creating our own pipe, let's see what are the steps to create the pipe. A class has to implement pipe transform interface transform method. So the first thing you need is a class, and that class has to implement pipe transform interface. Now this interface has a function, that is transform. So we have to implement this function and write logic inside this transform function, which will take collection as an input. We are going to filter that collection and return it as an output. A class has to be decorated with pipe decorator. This decorator defines the metadata and identify class as pipe. We have to add the pipe to Angular module. So once your pipe is ready, we have to add the pipe to an Angular module. So when you add that pipe to Angular module, the components belonging to that module will be able to access that pipe. The custom pipe will be used in the same way we use built-in pipes. So the syntax of using the custom pipe is same as the built-in pipes. Now as we know that how to create custom pipe, we also have to decide on what functionality we are going to create that custom pipe. That is also I have decided. Now in the data binding video, we have rendered this grid and we also rendered this filter by input field to show two-way data binding. At that time we expected this filter by to filter this grid based on the input criteria hello. So basically whatever we type inside this input field, we want that field value to filter this grid. But that did not happen at that time, and we discussed that we are going to implement that in our custom pipe video. And even in the pipe video we did not implement this because filter by is not a built-in pipe provided by Angular 2. It was provided in Angular 1, but it was not provided in Angular 2 due to obvious reasons. So we will be discussing those reasons at the end of the video. So it is decided that we are going to create a filter pipe. Now let's go to our slides. So I have created a player filter and we are going to discuss what we have implemented in this. So a pipe is a class decorator with pipe metadata. The pipe decorator identifies the class as pipe. The pipe class implements pipe transform interface transform method that accepts an array of type iPlayer to filter and filter by string type argument, which filters the array and returns a transform.filtered array. So this means that the transform function has first parameter as a collection, that will be the input. Second parameter is the filter by criteria. So this criteria will be used to filter the input, and then we are going to return the output from this function. And notice that the input type is iPlayer interface, which we have created in interface video. So basically we are using strong binding, strong typing basically. There will be one additional argument to transform method for each parameter passed to the pipe. So basically if you want to pass another parameter to the pipe or to the transform function, you have to include one other argument. The @pipe decorator allows you to define the pipe name that you will be used with template expression. It must be a valid JavaScript identifier. In our example pipe, name is player filter, so we name our filter as player filter. We use our custom pipe the same way we use built-in pipe in the template HTML. As this is a custom pipe, we have to include our pipe in the declaration array of app module. Now we know that how to create a pipe, and we also see how I have created this player filter pipe. So let's create this pipe through our application. So this is my application and this is playerlist.component.ts. Now this component is responsible for rendering this grid on the UI. This is the playerlist.html, which is a template connected to this component playerlist.component.ts. and here we are going to apply the pipe to this collection, and this is app_model.ts where we are going to declare our pipe into this declarations array. Now let's start with adding a pipe. Now our pipe is going to be used by the player functionality, so we are going to add it into player folder. So let's click add and add a TypeScript file. I'm going to name it as player-filter.ts. Now let's create a class first. I want this class to be accessed by all modules, so I'm going to use export. Then I'm going to use the class keyword and name the class. So the name will be player filter pipe. So the name of the class has to be suffixed by the pipe keyword to identify it as a pipe. And this class is going to implement an interface. That interface is pipe transform. Okay. Now you see a red line under pipe transform because we have not imported this into our file. So let's do that. So I'm going to import pipe transform interface from Angular code library. Okay, so now you see the line has been removed and everything is building properly. Now inside this class we are going to implement transform function. Now you see a red line under class player filter pipe. So it is basically saying that property transform is missing in type player filter pipe. So it is basically asking us to implement transform function. So let's do that. So the first parameter it accepts is the value, which is going to be the input, and we have to specify the type. So its type is going to be iPlayer interface array. The second argument or parameter is going to be filter type, which is of type string, and this method returns something and basically returns a collection, and that is going to be of type iPlayer array. So this is the signature of the transform function. So basically transform function accepts two parameters. First parameter is basically the input, that we are expecting it as a collection of type iPlayer interface, and then the second parameter is filter type, which is basically the criteria by which we are going to filter this input, and we are going to return a collection back of type iPlayer interface. Now you see that we have a red line under iPlayer interface. This is because we have not imported this interface into our file. So let's do that. So I'm going to import iPlayer interface and we will be fine. So everything will build successfully. Now the logic to write inside this function I've already created. I just have to copy paste it. So what we are doing in this logic is basically we are setting the filter by variable. If filter by has some value, then we are returning it to be, oh just a minute, it has to be filtered by instead of filter type. Yeah. Now if filter by has value, we are converting it to lowercase, otherwise we are setting it to null, and then we are filtering this value input on the basis of name, and we are passing the filter criteria and returning the filtered collection. If there is nothing to be filtered, then we are returning the original input collection. So our logic is also done. So the last thing inside this file is basically decorating this class with the pipe decorator. So for that we have to first transform, or we have to first import the pipe function from Angular core. Then we have to use decorator. So as this is a function, I have to use parentheses. To this function I'm going to pass an object and going to set name property, and we are going to name it as player filter. So the value of this name property will be used to define this filter in the HTML template. So whenever you use this filter, you have to use with the name player filter. So now our filter is ready and we are going to use this on our UI. So let's go to our template and this is the collection players, and we are going to specify a pipe, and then we have to specify the name of the filter, that is player filter, and then we have to specify the second argument. So we have to use a colon, and the argument is basically the filter by criteria, so that we are fetching it from the input field, that is we have used ng model, and we have created a property that is filter by, and we are going to use this property. So basically we are using binding to provide the parameter for this filter, or you can say for this pipe. Now if I go to the UI, I'm expecting one error because we have missed one step, and that is player filter could not be found. This is because we have not declared our pipe with the app module, so we have to do that. That is important. So let's do that. So our class name is player filter pipe, and we have to import it from under player folder. We have a file name player-filter. Okay, and we have to reference this class name in the declarations array. So once we do that, our UI will be okay, and we will be seeing a filtered grid. So now by default we are rendering hello into this text field, and we do not have a player in this grid with the hello name, so that is why the grid is empty. If I remove this hello, you can see the grid is back to 2 players. Now if I type SANTI, you will be seeing a single player. That is because based on this filter by criteria, our pipe has filtered the collection, and it is only displaying Santi because it matches with the filter input. Now if I remove this, you will be seeing 2 players, and if I type ME, then I'm able to see the second player. So this is how filter by is working, and this is how you create a custom pipe. Now you can create custom pipe for filter by, for filtering this grid, and even you can do that for ordering this grid. So for this video, our scope was to create filter by, so that we have created. So this is how you can create a custom pipe. Now we are going to discuss why Angular 2 is not providing built-in filter pipe or order by pipe. So there is a reason behind that. So Angular doesn't provide pipes for filtering or sorting list. These pipes are known as filter and order by. Angular does not support these pipes because they perform poorly and prevent aggressive minification. So due to their performance and preventing aggressive minifications, basically the Angular 2 doesn't provide built-in pipe for filter and order by. So filtering and especially sorting are expensive operations. The user experience can degrade severely for even moderate size list when Angular calls these pipes. So basically what Angular says is, we are not going to provide built-in pipes for filtering and ordering. If you are okay with the performance degrade, you can create your own custom pipe. So that is what intention of Angular 2 is. So this is how we have created a custom pipe to filter our grid, and we also discussed why Angular 2 is not providing built-in filter and order by pipe. So thanks for watching.